Hello everybody, Ty Lord here, hoping that your new year is good and it continues to be that way until next year and so on. Stay content. That's probably easy for me to say because I don't have many problems, but I try to avoid problems. We got some good DVDs and Blu-rays and one video game. I've really been out of video games for the past 6 months, which is unfortunate. I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. It seems like I've been spending most of my time watching movies in my free downtime. So I've watched quite a few movies this year, more than I have in the past 5 or 10 years. I did beat quite a few games this year up until the summertime. So in my next video I make, I'm going to talk about the games I beat in 2021, and I beat quite a few good ones. A lot of them I'm really pleased with myself for beating because they were kind of long, like adventure RPG type things. A lot of fighting games and beat 'em ups. I went through a lot of SNES beat 'em up games. I found a lot of great ones. I can't wait to share these with people who might not be familiar with them. But for now, just doing my typical pickups. I've been going nuts with freaking DVDs, combined with the dollar store and my Mad Monk's record store down the street. I stop by there every Saturday and find good deals. I find a lot of 50-cent movies, dollar movies there. And then dollar store. Tight White's got me into that stupid dollar store stuff. Now every time my little girls like going to the dollar store to look for toys, which is good for me because they're not expensive. They're begging me more to go look at toys at the Dollar Tree than Walmart. Yesterday we went and looked at toys for them. They wanted to spend some of their Christmas money. We want to go to the Dollar Tree. Then I go, okay, you want to go to Walmart now? They have good toys there. Nah, we want to go home. So I've raised those kids good. Yeah, but as far as the movies at the Dollar Tree go, I kind of feel like a waste of money even getting them, but I see there's some gems in the rough. But then again, my record store down the street has better deals. They may be used, but way better movies for $1. And it's $1.25 now at the Dollar Tree. Anyway, I can't believe I'm into this Dollar Tree fad, but there never used to be this many movies at the Dollar Tree. I'm hoping eventually some Don the Dragon Wilson movies will show up, or Billy Blanks, or Gary Daniels, or Cynthia Rothrock, or any of those guys. Jeff Wincott movies. Olivier Gruner. Some of the early Brandon Lee movies. I'm hoping a bunch of those will start showing up at the Dollar Tree, but I doubt it. Anyway, so I'll start with, actually, since I only have one video game, I'll start with that one. I picked this one up. It's been taunting me for the last few weeks. Resident Evil 5 on Xbox One for $12, and it's sealed. And yeah, I'm eventually gonna go with the Series X. So I wanted to add some Resident Evil games to my collection. I've platinumed this game a couple times on different consoles, but I'm sure it'll probably run a lot smoother on this new thing. Then again, I don't know if I just pop in my 360 version, if it would just play the upgraded version. I'm not sure, but we gotta have this. Probably my favorite online co-op game of all time, Resident Evil 5. Got that. No other video games, but I have something video game related. I found The King of Kong on DVD. Everyone spazzes out about this documentary about the guys battling for #1 spot in Donkey Kong. It never really appealed to me, but I guess I should watch it. I hear it's really good. Like, I'd rather watch like football or fighting or something than this bunch of freaking dorks. Like, I guess they're the top of their game, so you gotta respect them. But anyway, A King of Kong. I hope no one gets on my case for not being all obsessed with this concept, but whatever. I hear they're like funny characters, at least one, the one guy, what's his name, Billy. So I don't know if I'll ever watch that, but I for 50 cents, like I can't pass that up. And then the other video game thing, I mentioned this in my last video, but my wife and girls and I watched it last night, and I have a newfound respect for this thing. And I'll tell you why. I've always liked this movie. I think I've mentioned it many times before. I like this movie. I've always considered it a guilty pleasure. But man, after listening to the commentary and watching some of the extras, man, I really appreciate it more. And I realize like what a beautiful movie it is, and how entertaining it is, and probably how difficult it was to make in such a short time. And that's Street Fighter with Van Damme and Raul Julia. We watched this last night. Here's why I really appreciate it now. At the time, I wasn't crazy about it. It didn't seem very violent like a Van Damme. I like those hardcore, violent, hard R Van Damme movies like Bloodsport and Cyborg. And this one, you didn't really see Van Damme in a lot of brutal, like martial arts action, like really violent stuff. And I didn't really care for that. And the game is basically very violent, like it's guys beating up each other, even beating up a girl. It was a pretty violent game for the time. But I guess it was hard for this movie to get the PG rating, so they had to re-edit it and reshoot it a bunch. I'd be curious to see some of the earlier cuts of this, because I hear it was a little bit more violent, and it got an R. But this thing barely made PG as it is. I guess it was just about a G rating. And then, okay, that's why I like it now, because it's something I can watch that I like with my girls. Like, I don't have to worry about a lot of gore and violence and sexuality in this movie. And it's something I like. And all these characters I like, and I like the actors. Raul Julia was basically dying in this movie, and he put out like a magnificent performance. I guess he based his mannerisms on Mussolini. Like, he did a lot of research and practiced martial arts and working out with like Benny the Jet was one of the fight choreographer for this. And all these guys got trained by him, I guess, for this movie. And none of them are really martial artists other than Van Damme. But I kind of like all the characters in here. Kind of like a different take on the video game. But man, the extras on here, the documentaries, I couldn't get enough of that stuff. Really makes me like the movie more. I'm hoping this, I hear it's starting to get appreciated more. The director, Steven D'Souza, has a commentary on this. It's back from when the Laserdisc was released. He kept mentioning Laserdisc. And I could tell he was kind of irritated how the critics were slamming it back then, saying it's unintentionally funny, when he wrote it to be funny and it's intended to be funny. Like, you can tell, like, there's no way you can take this movie seriously. This is like G.I. Joe, the movie. So I could tell he was a little irked in that commentary, and I don't blame him. And he had to, I think he wrote the script in like a day for this. Like, this was like a tight schedule for this. A lot of stuff I appreciate now, though, that I didn't notice before. Like, I guess that all those ancient temples in Thailand were actually built, sets they built in Australia. I thought those were pretty cool temples, like M. Bison's base. And what else? There's all kinds of fun, interesting facts about this movie. And yeah, my wife and I watched this with a commentary last night, and we loved it. And I can watch this around the girls anytime now. I don't have to worry about it being too violent. Back when I was like 14 or whatever, when this came out, or 15, like I wanted the violence and the sexy ladies and all that. But now that I'm adult, like, I appreciate this movie way more now, because I can watch it with my kids. Anyway, enough of that. I've already gloated about that enough. On to the Dollar Tree disaster here. I found this movie. It has a nice little slip. Immortal Wars. I guess it's based on some comic series. Immortal Wars Resurgence. Has a nice little slip cover. It looks like this typical, probably like all these Marvel movies and stuff. I mean, I've never really been all jazzed about them, but I do enjoy watching them because it's something my wife and I can both go to the movies that we enjoy, but they're not really my thing. But this is looks like a low budget indie movie, and I see Eric Roberts is in here, and I've always liked Eric Roberts from Best of the Best, and for a lot of those 80s, 90s action movies. I see he's in it, but I didn't watch this yet because I found out this is part of a trilogy. This is only like the second one in the trilogy of movies, so I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that. I'm sure it's fantastic. Here's one I'm glad I found. Hobo with a Shotgun with Rutger Hauer. This is a newer movie, probably 10 years old or so, but it has that grindhouse look. It kind of feels like a 70s exploitation movie. So I kind of enjoy the look and feel of this movie. It's been a while since I've watched it, but got that stuff now. And found this Steven Seagal movie, Attrition. Looks like there's probably a lot of kung fu and shooty in there. I don't know. I haven't really given new Steven Seagal a chance. Like older Steven Seagal, his first 4 or 5 movies are classics. And I might like these new cheesy ones the way I am, like type of stuff I like, but they've never really appealed to me. But that's the same with like Van Damme and all these guys in these new movies. I'm not really interested in the newer stuff. Maybe I should give them a chance though. These newer action movies. I can't imagine them being... Okay, this is probably the gem in the pile. Special edition 12 Monkeys with Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe. And it's directed by Terry Gilliam that did the all those Monty Python stuff in Brazil and Adventures of Baron Munchausen. I didn't realize he directed this. I remember I saw this when I was a kid and I didn't understand it and I got bored with it, but I might give it another watch because I kind of have an appreciation now for Terry Gilliam's weird movies. Oh, man. Okay, here's 10 movies for $1.25. That's like 12 cents a movie. I think I did good there, huh? And I don't recognize any of these movies. I looked up every single one on the back to see like who the directors were or who starred in them. And I don't know if at one point in my life I had time to go through stuff like this. I would enjoy to go through them all, but I don't know if I will. Most Wanted. I'm not even going to name the movies because none of you will know what they are or who's in them. I think a couple of them might have interested me when I looked them up. This one might be a little bit more interesting. High octane 10 movie action pack. I see this movie Treasure Raiders up here in the corner. The 3 actors in there I like. Alexander Nevsky, that big buff, like Eastern European guy. And Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. And David Carradine. So I'll probably have to watch that one up there. Fast Track. And then I see Hellbinders has Ray Park in there, that stunt guy. I think people mostly know him as Darth Maul. And then what's the other? Distortion, Recon 2020, Payback, Good Girls, Bad Guns, Mad Bad. I looked up all of these to see if there were anything I was interested in, but who knows? I might think they're just fantastic. Okay, I'll do the horror movies now. We're done with the Dollar Tree stuff. Oh, man. Okay, not to knock the Dollar Tree, but look at this stuff I found for $1 at Rasputin's. Let me get the... Oh, yeah. Okay, this one's... I'll start with the non-horror movies. This one, Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves and Dolph Lundgren. Freaking rad. Dolph Lundgren is one of my favorites. Oh, Ice-T is in this. I forgot. Yeah, Ice-T is in this. Now I remember. Okay, yeah, so this... it's been a long time since I've watched this, but one of those cyber noir or cyberpunk type action movies. Oh, Henry Rollins is in it. He has like all kinds of information plugged into his head, like virtually or whatever, electronically. It's been a long time since I've seen that. I think it was based on a novel or something, or a comic. I don't know. Let me guys know what you think of that. It's been a while since I've watched anything of the sort. And then I didn't know there was a red-green movie called Duct Tape Forever. I don't think this is a compilation of episodes. I think it's like a road trip movie with red-green here. This guy, is it Steve Smith and his dorky nephew or his cousin, Harold. These guys, they have like a fix-it show, like a Canadian show. I don't know anyone who knows about this except for Dan from Rebel Gaming Club who knows about them. It used to be on public, or was it PBS? This was on all the time. My grandparents, all my family loved this show. They thought it was funny as heck. It has some pretty funny slapstick, kind of weird Canadian humor. Okay, on to the horror movies. These were all 95 cents a piece. I got the new Last House on the Left, which I haven't seen, for $1. Unrated. That's probably pretty gruesome, considering the material or the subject matter. Here's a shark movie I found. I've always liked this one. It's so freaking cheesy. This is like before Sharknado and all of that. This Blue Demon. These like sharks they're pretty much like sharks with their minds are programmed to like with a computer. Like you could control these sharks with a computer. It's so freaking corny, but I remembered enjoying this when I was a younger man. Friday the 13th Part 2, probably one of the best Friday the 13th for $1. And I already had this one, but it's part of that 2-pack with part 1 and 2 on it together. And then I don't know if DVD's Nuts and Popcorn is ever gonna do these with that with our little movie rate and review and all that. But Final Destination, I found 1 and 2 for 95 cents a piece. Not really my favorite series, but I thought these were in nice condition. And then Freddie versus Jason, and both discs are in there, 95 cents. Excellent. And then $4 I spent on this, so I guess they were $1 a piece. 4 film pack, Leprechaun, which I already have, Wishmaster 1 and 2, and I've never seen those, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if that's something we're gonna dive into with the DVD's Nuts and Popcorn. But the one that really sold me is Pumpkinhead 2 right here. And that's my favorite Pumpkinhead. I was just introduced to those by Tight White and with our little stream group in November. And this is my favorite one, Pumpkinhead 2. And it has a director's commentary. I kind of like this director. What's his name? Jeff Burr. There's a director commentary on that, so I'm kind of looking forward to watching that. Okay, and now on to my favorite stuff here. The martial art movies from the 90s. I can't believe I found this at FYE's. It's not really my favorite Gary Daniels movie, but I enjoy it. American Street Fighter. It's like it's like an underground fight type movie where and then the guys that run it smuggle stuff through the dead bodies of the fighters that die. It's really corny plot, but it's very entertaining. It has that guy Gerald Okamura. I don't know, you guys probably remember from he's in like every single martial art movie. He's like a bald, kind of short Asian guy that's like really stocky, and he has weapons all the time with like a Fu Manchu, and he's bald. He was in Big Trouble in Little China with the guns. You see him like in every movie. He's in this, and this is a kooky movie. Gary Daniels is really underrated action guy. And then Lorenzo Lamas. Yes, I even like Lorenzo Lamas action movies. This one, I can't believe I found this. Final Impact. He's like a fighter that he's a fighter that is training this guy. He's like a retired fighter, and he's training this guy to beat the guy that beat him, and they go to Vegas. It's that typical typical movie of this, that producer Joseph Merhi. All these like movies is set in Vegas, and there's fighting going on. Like, I think Deadly Bet and To Be the Best. I don't know if you guys remember those type of movies, but I really love this 90s cheese right here. A lot of cool fighting though. Like what's his name's pretty good on film. Lorenzo Lamas as a fighter. I know his dad was a big movie star, but he seems to have like legit on-screen martial arts skills. Here's another one I got called Los Bravos for $1. And that was, and I see it has Michelle Kesey or Queasy that plays Tong Po in Kickboxer, and it has Bill Superfoot Wallace, like one of the best kickboxers or karate kickboxers ever. He's got to be really old now. I don't even know if he's still around. What year is that? 2002, so this is pretty old. And then I found martial arts double feature for 95 cents sealed. This might have been back in the day. The dollar store might have had stuff like this back in the day. Do you guys remember these like thin-spined DVDs? I see this has Brutal Kickboxer and Bolo with Bolo Young is in there, so I had to get that one. And then speaking of Bolo, check this out. Oh, I can't believe I found this. Fearless Tiger with Bolo, and I think it's Jalal Merhi's first movie. I like all of his movies. This is a typical Bloodsport ripoff. I love it, but the plot is like this guy, I forgot the character's name. His brother gets overdosed or has a drug problem, so he like tries to go get revenge on the drug dealers or whatever, and he ends up fighting in karate tournaments. There's like all kinds of tournaments like Bloodsport style in this. Very cool. And Bolo Yang he's kind of like his trainer or spiritual trainer or whatever. And then it also has Escape from Death Row with Lee Van Cleef. I don't know, it might be an Italian exploitation movie. I've been enjoying the prison escape movies lately. Oh, and here's my boy, Don the Dragon Wilson, Ring of Fire, the original one. I couldn't pass that up. It was $6, but I didn't have a standalone copy of this. Oh man, it doesn't have any extras though. A lot of the usual extras in here. I recognize them, but no one else would. All these kung fu martial art guys are in this movie. And the lovely Maria Ford is in here. Oh, and this one's... oh, here's another one produced by Joseph Merhi. I don't think he's related to Jalal Merhi. Yeah, this is like Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, kung fu movie. I love it. Kind of like little like racial gangs are going at it, and the Don the Dragon's in the Asian family, and he falls in love with the Italian girl or Irish or whatever she is. It's been a while since I've watched it. Okay. Oh man, Operation Cobra. I can't believe I got my hands on this. Don the Dragon Wilson. This is like a low budget Roger Corman James Bond movie. I freaking love this movie. Don the Dragon Wilson's a stud in here. It's set in India. Being a big Bond fanatic, I noticed a lot of James Bond movie references in here, like little nuggets, the references to old James Bond movies. And it has a director's commentary. He even has a buddy, kind of reminds me of 007 and 006 in GoldenEye. And his Don the Dragon's partner is Rick Hill. Is that his name? Or Richard Hill. The guy that played Deathstalker, that big buff guy, he's his partner, and it kind of reminds me of the plot of GoldenEye. But there's a lot of other James Bond movies reference. Of course, he does a lot of martial arts, and he gets with a lot of pretty ladies in this. Very James Bond-esque. So I'm glad I found this. And then, I can't believe I found this for $1. Cyber Tracker 2. And I don't think I like this one as much as the first one. I might have fallen asleep through this. I don't really remember much about Cyber Tracker 2, so I'll have to watch both of those again. I know it's very like Terminator-esque. Is this Roger Corman? No, Joseph Murphy. Murphy. All right, so that's it. I know you guys are not interested in these martial art movies, but I've been really loving these lately, and I'm glad I've been finding them. So got all those, got a good horror movies, and I got one good video game, so that's about it. And this is dragging on way too long. Good talking to you guys. I'll bring out that games I beat in 2021 very soon. I'm looking forward to making that video. I have a lot of good things to say about a lot of good games I've beaten over various consoles in 2021. I might do one on the best movies I've seen in 2021. My personal opinion. So anyway, later guys. Happy New Year. Don't let the world get you down. And have a wonderful day. Oh crap.